So it's a very light blue kind of day. Today we are looking at the Chanel Rivage quad. Now, the reason I'm revisiting this quad is because when I first did the review on it, it was actually a couple months ago before it was actually released here in the United States. I had it over on Patreon and then I had it up here as soon as it was released. But now the entire collection is available. So there is the Rivage, this is the eyeshadow quad. There is a highlighter, there is an eyeshadow that has like coral tones, there is blush, there are lipsticks, there are lip lacquers, there's a highlighting stick, and there is a new blue pencil. Now, I still don't have my order from Chanel. By the time I recorded this, I thought I would have my order. I placed it a long time ago. My SA actually didn't have it in store, but it hasn't even been shipped yet. So what I decided to do is do this review, do this update, and as soon as I get the blue liner and everything else, I'll do a review of those things. But I did want to do some comparisons about the blue specifically that's in Rivage, because I've gotten a lot of questions about, is this really a quad that I need? Do you think the blue is really different than other blues? All that good stuff. Is it really pigmented? Etc, etc, etc. My first review was basically first impressions, so let's get into it. First of all, I really like this quad. As I said in my initial review though, if you don't like a baby blue shade, I don't see the purpose of this quad, because the other shades that are in here they're not mundane, they're beautiful shades, but I'm gonna guess you have them if you have a sizable collection of any sizes. So this is a brown, it's a good basic light brown. This is like a peach shade, and this is a very sparkly white, very sparkly. I have seen some people compare it to the new highlighter that's very sparkly, but the new highlighter, it's an oversized highlighter, has like an opalescence of blue undertone, which is interesting because it kind of matches this blue here. I did not order that. I ordered, because I asked on my Instagram feed, I ordered the blush because everybody was really interested in the blush. I ordered the liner because people were interested in the liner, and I ordered one of the lip lacquers because the shade looked really great to me. I'm about to leave. I'm recording this right before I leave. I don't know if this will go up when it like usually does, but at least I'll have it recorded. So I just have to edit it. I'm leaving. I'm going to be going to a place where there is a lot of shopping, so I will try to see this collection in store if it's available. I don't know if it'll be available, guys. Like, we'll have to see. If it is available in store and I really like the highlighter or whatever, I'll pick it up. I do also want the blue nail polish because I love blue nail polish. So I'll pick it up if it's in store. Again, those are the things. But again, I don't have it with me right now because it hasn't even shipped yet, which is just odd. So I'll, do the review of those other products when they're here. And they might be sold out by then because they're limited edition. That's my understanding. So I didn't want to wait too long because the Rivage already went out of stock. I think it'll come back in stock, but let's get to the video before it's gone from everywhere. The light blue in here. When I did the initial review, I said that it was relatively light overall, and it is. It is relatively light overall. It's not a super pigmented quad. However, the name on the back is interesting. It says multi-effect Quadra eyeshadow. And when it said that, I was just like, multi-effects? What exactly does that mean? Now, I think part of it is the white shade. The white shade is very sparkly and very almost opalescent itself. It's got a shift to it, definitely a blue shift. It's extremely pretty, but it's also very crumbly, like on the eye. So you're gonna get fallout from that shade. You just are. It's the nature of the shade. But it's really nice, and when you blend it out, it creates a beautiful effect. The blue shade in here, when I first used it, my first look, and I'll try to remember to link the first video, I used it in a way that was more broadly appealing. So in other words, more people would like that look and be like, oh, I could wear that blue. The way I used it today was a very different way. And this is how it looks. Now I have the video of me applying it. I'll put that up now. I started with the tan brown shade, just used that as a crease shade, but I didn't, intensify it. I just went on relatively lightly. And then I took a Kolinsky brush and that blue shade. And the thing about the blue shade is it is buildable. It does have depth to it if you're willing to apply it as such. So use a brush like a Kolinsky brush or your finger or build it. You can make it quite opaque if you want to. Now, again, not everybody is going to like a blue eyeshadow look all over their lid. Not everyone is into that. So you can do it like my first look, or you can do it like this, or, you know, multiple other ways. I took the white sparkly shade, put it on the inner corner of the eye, just to give some lightness there, to keep it fresh, to kind of keep it, you know, open. And I didn't use the peach shade at all in this particular look. So we're back. You can see what I'm talking about. I love this. I think it's beautiful, but as you can probably tell by my outfit today and my headband and my earrings and a whole bunch of other things, I love this shade of blue. One of my favorite colors is what my husband calls Smurf blue. I love blues, like all blues, just pretty much any color of blue. And in fact, I think I've kind of decided to, after I've decluttered my closets and my shoes and all of that, my makeup, and by the way, declutter sale is almost upon us. My sister's been helping me, in fact, doing all of the work to catalog all the products, and I will have it up on my Patreon very, very soon. I will announce when that's going to be. But I've decided that, you know, to keep myself in check, to keep myself from buying things that I do not need. After going through my closet, I realized that, you know, I do not need any more black anything. Black shoes, black purses, black clothing. I don't need any more black. I could buy black pants. That's fine, because let's be honest, we all wear, like, or at least I wear black pants all the time. So that's fine. But everything else I do not need. I don't even wear, especially black shoes. Do not need any more black shoes. But if I limit myself to like a certain color story, if I build around a particular color story or a particular item, then I of course limit myself to what I can buy, because if I pick a color that's relatively limited, it's harder to find and therefore won't buy as much. So I'm pretty sure the color is going to be this color, this light blue, this sky blue, this baby blue, which I think is actually a very popular color right now, but you know, won't be for the entire season. So there's a couple of pairs of shoes that actually I am interested in that are in that color, which I of course don't have in my closet, because who has light blue shoes? So that's kind of be my focus. And when buying things for the rest of the year, if they're not that color story or don't match with that color story or don't work with the things that I already have in my closet, then I just don't buy them, period. And that's my way of just, you know, keeping myself down to like a few things. So hopefully that works. My sister will probably keep me in check anyway, so not for me to worry. Anyway, blue is you know, something I really enjoy. But I did want to today swatch a couple of blues for you from other quads that you might have. I also am going to swatch the blue Chanel liners that I have. Now, like I said, I don't have the new blue Abyss liner here, but I lined my eyes with a shade of Chanel liner, which I think is going to be close. I've seen the liner, but I've only seen it in store. I think this is the one that I'm going to show you today that I have on my eyes. I think it's going to be close. It's hard to tell though, because I didn't have both liners next to each other. But when I do get that liner, I will compare it to all these other blues again, so you can see it compared to these other blues. All right, so let's first swatch the new one, and you'll see what I mean when I build this up a little bit. There's a luminescence to this shade. And when I first felt this shade, I was like, oh, it's not that. But what it is, there's something in here. I'm not sure what it is. It feels a little tacky, which at first I didn't like, but that's why you can build it to this, because there's something in there that allows it to build, to like not to be more opaque, to have a richer feel, a richer color. So you can definitely get that from this, which I didn't necessarily notice the first time I used it. So this is Azure Blue by Clé de Peau. This is the new formula. And I'm going to swatch the baby blue out of this one. And you guys can see, if you bought this one, similarities between these two. Now this one, this is Azure Blue, of course. The other shades in it are very different. They're not a white, peach, and brown. They're a white cream, turquoise and navy, but that's the baby blue. Notice a similarity there. Now again, color stories, not at all the same, but the baby blue in my opinion, is very close. Okay, Tom Ford, I pulled out. You know, the funny thing is I don't have, there was one that, and I can't remember the name of the quad right now, that I don't have that would have been, I think, similar, but again, I don't have that one. This is metallic denim. Much deeper and more sparkly shade. And there's metallic denim. You can see the shade I swatched. It's a deeper, it's much deeper quad. I actually like that one. I mean, it's, for pigments, there's an issue, but I like the color story. This one is Frostfire. I'm gonna do the shade here. That's Frostfire. I love that shade. But again, much more sparkly. Like these, the Chanel's are creamier, more luminescent. The Tom Fords are much more like, you know, hi, I'm here kind of shades, especially this one in Frostfire. And by the way, I had a great conversation with somebody from Tom Ford, which I will be talking about in an upcoming video. All right, Prada. Here's the light blue in the Prada. This is a much different formula because, again, this is a soft matte formula from Prada, which I think is really beautiful, but it's softer and it doesn't stay on as long. It's a much, this actually looks more like the liner is gonna look, if I remember correctly. Pretty sure. All right, Dior. This is Blue Velvet. And I'm gonna take the baby blue shade. I'm sorry, the baby blue shade here. It's pointing to the wrong thing. Yeah, this one has much more of a purple. I like the Dior Velvet formula though. They did a good job with the velvets. I wasn't particularly like interested at first, but that one's definitely more of like, almost like a lavender blue, like a cornflower blue was what I'd call it. And then I have a old Chanel with this Say Riviera. And there's a blue in here, which I think should be interesting to test out. This one is much more grayish blue. It's more like, sorry, I remember the name of the shade. Your one that I really liked that I can't remember the name of. Wow. Eden Rock. More like Eden Rock. So I say the closest is the new Clé de Peau, Azure Blue. The difference is it's a little bit lighter, a little bit greener, but I mean like the slightest amount. It's close. The Chanel is bluer. Now I'm sure I'm missing something somewhere. Not about the Hermes, but the Hermes one is much brighter blue, and then the gray blue, it's not even, it doesn't even in the pan look like it could possibly be, you know, a light blue. Cornflower blue is probably closer to, it's closer to this, but it's actually grayer than that even. So it's a beautiful shade, but it's not this shade. It's just, you know, this is relatively unique in my small palette collection. Now, I probably have this shade in maybe like my Natasha Denona palettes, maybe one of my Pat McGrath palettes, that type of thing, like the really large palettes. But in any small palette, in a quad or quint, these were the ones that came to mind like that. If there's another quad that you'd like to see the blue out of in comparison to the Rivage blue, I'm happy to show it to you. All right, so I'm going to swatch the liners that I have now, show you those. And like I said, I will have an updated one. I'll either be able to put it in this video if it comes before I have the video finished, or I'll make sure I add something later on and, you know, put it up on Instagram or something so you guys can see it. All right, so let me swatch those for you. So here's all of the blue liners I have in this formula, the waterproof liner formula, which is what the new one is, the Blue Abyss. So from bottom to top, we have Intense Teal, Fervent Blue, True Blue, Blue Metal, Blue Carbone, and Marine. The one I have on my eyes right now is Fervent Blue. See this really bright blue? My guess, and again, I saw it in store, but I wasn't able to compare them, and I don't have it yet because I ordered it, but I don't have it, is that it's going to be close to that shade, but matte. It's not a luminescent, shiny shade. It's a matte shade. So it's similar to this Fervent Blue, but matte. That is my best take on seeing it, but not being able to swatch it and not having it in comparison to the ones I have. It's a long story about why, but at least I got to see it. But most of these were limited edition or have just been discontinued over time. True Blue is gone, I know. I think Blue Metal still exists. Fervent Blue is gone. Intense Teal is gone. Marine still exists, I'm fairly sure, and Blue Carbone is gone. May still be available in some places. It was a limited edition. So, the Blue Abyss. What I would say, if you're not sure, and of course I can't directly show it to you right now, the thing about the blues in Chanel, and this is, you know, from my time working there, the blues always sell out. Always. Like, it's just for the last 40 years. And I think it's because they don't make that many blues. They make lots of browns, lots of blacks, like different types of black, intense black, passionate black, you know, like they have all these different blacks. And then they have all these like metallic shades, like the ones that have been coming out that are all light. I don't know exactly why they do that, but there's a lot of them. Well, I do know why they do that, but there's a lot of them, okay? So my advice, if you like a blue, and it's a bright blue, but if you like a bright blue liner, I would just buy it. Just buy it. Worst case scenario, you don't like it, I am 100% sure that you can sell it on Mercari or eBay or wherever else, or give it to somebody. The blue shades are very popular, and like I said, they do sell out, and generally, Chanel doesn't keep them. Like they're just gone. They're limited edition and gone. Why? Again, I don't know, because they're very popular. So I don't know Chanel's reasoning. This is true back in the day when I worked for them in the 90s. They introduce things, they're incredibly popular, and then they just get rid of them. So that would be my advice. The one shade that Chanel seems to never do, or at least rarely does, is purple. I don't have a real purple waterproof liner. There was one that I had for a little while, and it dried up. It was old. It was like 30 years old. But my point is, if you see a purple one and you like purple, I would buy it immediately, because I haven't seen Chanel do a purple waterproof liner in quite some time. It's been a while. Purple's hard to do, that's why. The shade purple is really hard to do in cosmetics. Purple and blue are the hardest ones. It is much easier to do other shades for various reasons about how blue and purples are created. They're hard to make. They're hard to make well. They're hard to it's hard to get a purple that will be consistent and strong and pigmented and not be patchy. It's hard to get a really good blue, same type of thing. So the fact that this light blue performs as well as it does is actually, it's great. And I really like it. But again, if you're not a blue person, especially if you don't like a baby blue or this type of blue, this quad is not for you. So more to come with the spring collection from Chanel, more to come with the liner. And if you have any questions, let me know and I will do my best to answer them. So thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you in another video really soon.